everything the world admires, but still feel empty inside. They smile in front of others, but deep in their heart, they feel tired, lonely, and restless. Every morning, millions of people wake up with stress. They compare their life with others. They feel jealous when someone else succeeds. They complain when life does not go according to their plan. They keep chasing happiness like it is hiding somewhere far away. But no matter how much they achieve, their heart still feels incomplete. Maybe you also feel this sometimes. Maybe your mind is always busy. Maybe you compare yourself with others. Maybe you feel like life is unfair. Maybe you are waiting for one big moment that will finally make you happy. But what if happiness is not found in having more? What if happiness begins when your mind finally becomes peaceful? This is the story of a young man named Daniel and an old man named Mr. Thomas, who taught him a lesson that changed his life forever. Daniel lived in a small, peaceful village near green hills and a quiet lake. He was 19 years old. He was smart, hardworking, and full of dreams. But there was one problem. Daniel was never happy. If the weather was too hot, he complained. If someone bought new clothes, he felt jealous. If someone else succeeded, he felt like a failure. If his family gave him simple food, he wished he had something better. Even when he sat with his parents at dinner, his mind was somewhere else. He was always thinking about the life he did not have. One evening, his mother looked at him and asked, "Daniel, why do you always look unhappy?" Daniel replied, "Because life has given me less than others. Everyone else seems to have a better life than me." His mother became silent. She knew Daniel was not poor in life. He was poor in gratitude. At the edge of the village lived an old man named Mr. Thomas. He was not rich. His house was small. His clothes were simple. He had no expensive things. But everyone in the village respected him because his face always carried peace. Even during difficult times, he stayed calm. Even when people criticized him, he smiled. Even when life became hard, he never lost his inner peace. People often came to him for advice. One evening, Daniel saw Mr. Thomas sitting near the lake, watching the sunset. Daniel walked toward him and said, "Everyone says you are a wise man, so tell me honestly, what is the secret of happiness?" Mr. Thomas looked at Daniel quietly. Then he asked, "Do you really want happiness? Or do you only want a life that looks better than others?" Daniel did not know what to say. After a few seconds, he replied, "I just want to be happy." Mr. Thomas smiled and said, "Then come to me tomorrow morning before sunrise. I will show you something." The next morning, Daniel reached Mr. Thomas's house before sunrise. Mr. Thomas was already waiting for him. He carried a small wooden box and said, "Follow me." They walked through the village, crossed the fields, and entered a quiet path between tall trees. After walking for some time, they reached an old garden. In the middle of the garden, there were 3 plants. The first plant was in a golden pot. The pot was beautiful, shiny, and expensive, but the plant inside was dry and almost dead. The second plant was in a broken clay pot. The pot looked old and simple, but the plant inside was green, fresh, and full of life. The third plant was in a big decorated pot, but its roots were trapped under heavy stones. Could not grow properly. Daniel looked confused. Mr. Thomas asked, "Which plant looks the happiest?" Daniel replied, "The one in the broken clay pot. It looks alive." Mr. Thomas nodded and said, "Exactly." Then he pointed toward the golden pot. "This plant has beauty outside, but no life inside. Many people are like this. They look successful, rich, and important from outside, but inside they feel empty." Then he pointed toward the broken clay pot. "This plant has nothing special outside, but it receives sunlight, water, and space to grow. That is why it is alive." Then he pointed toward the third plant. "And this plant has a beautiful pot, but its roots are trapped, just like many people whose hearts are trapped by comparison, jealousy, anger, and endless desire." Daniel stayed silent. Mr. Thomas looked into his eyes and said, "A beautiful life outside means nothing if your heart is not free inside." Those words touched Daniel deeply. After that, Mr. Thomas took Daniel to a small hill. On the way, he picked up a stone and gave it to Daniel. He said, "Put this in your bag. This stone is comparison." Daniel placed the stone in his bag. After a few steps, Mr. Thomas picked up another stone. "This stone is jealousy." Then another. "This stone is anger." Then another. "This stone is the desire to control everything." Then another. "This stone is waiting for a perfect life before you allow yourself to be happy." Soon Daniel's bag became heavy. His shoulders started hurting. His breathing became fast. His steps became slow. Finally, he stopped and said, "Mr. Thomas, I cannot carry this anymore. It is too heavy." Mr. Thomas looked at him calmly and said, "But Daniel, this is what you carry every day inside your mind." Daniel froze. The old man continued, "Every time you compare yourself with others, you pick up a stone. Every time you feel jealous, you pick up a stone. Every time you become angry about something you cannot control, you pick up another stone." Daniel slowly removed the bag from his shoulders. For the first time, he understood why he always felt tired. His life was not the real problem. His thoughts were making his life heavy. They reached the top of the hill. From there, the whole village could be seen. Small houses, children playing, farmers working, women carrying water, and smoke rising from morning fires. Mr. Thomas said, "Look at this village carefully. Some people have little money but sleep peacefully. Some people have more money but never feel satisfied. Some people live simple lives but smile from the heart. Some people have many things but still complain every day." Daniel asked, "Then what makes the difference?" Mr. Thomas replied, "The direction of the mind." Daniel looked confused. Mr. Thomas explained, "If your mind always looks at what is missing, your life will always feel empty. But if your mind learns to notice what is already present, your life will start feeling rich." Then Mr. Thomas asked Daniel to shout toward the hills. Daniel shouted, "Life is unfair." After a moment, the hills echoed back, "Unfair, unfair, unfair." Mr. Thomas said, "Now shout something else." Daniel shouted, "I am grateful." The hills echoed back, "Grateful, grateful, grateful." Mr. Thomas smiled and said, "Life often gives back the voice you keep sending into it. If your mind is full of complaints, life feels painful. If your heart is full of gratitude, even simple moments become beautiful." Daniel stood quietly. He had blamed life for many years, but he had never looked inside his own mind. On their way back, they passed by an old woman watering flowers outside her small house. Her clothes were old. Her house was simple. Her hands looked tired, but she was smiling peacefully.